Hello and welcome to a interesting video, different than I've done in the past. This is going to be more of a status update on my channel, and also I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the struggles that I'm kind of experiencing right now in hopes of being a positive influence on other people. First of all, update on my channel. I'm taking a break, or not really a break from YouTube, but kind of a step back. I've been spending a lot of time in the past on putting high quality content for my specific community, the Clash Royale community, and I love it. And it really breaks my heart, honestly, to feel like I have to take a step back from it because I'm so passionate about it. I love being a part of the community and being a positive influence, and I love helping. I love the strategy that is involved with it, and it's great to share that passion that I have with other people that are also passionate about it. I absolutely love it. So it breaks my heart to feel like I have to take a step back, but I really do feel like I have to because of some stuff that is going on in my life that I will touch on a little bit later. As far as what you can expect from my channel, I'm still going to be doing some videos. I may be doing some I've got a lot of stress in my life right now, and so I may be doing some quick Let's Plays, check out some other games and things other than Clash Royale. I'm really enjoying Clash Royale, but the types of videos that I have for Clash are really time consuming, and I don't have much time right now because of the stress that I have. At the same time, I still like to play video games, even when I do have a lot, because what it allows me to do is it allows me to take all of the stress and stuff from all the responsibilities that I have and kind of set it to the side for a little bit so that I can just get distracted for a little bit, focus on something else, and then when it's time to pick up real life, put it in front of me, I have a nice fresh perspective of what is going on. And it's nice to be able to have that fresh perspective, and so that's why I like playing new games, and I like those things. So you might be able to expect some of that also. Even though I am kind of stepping back, mostly because of my school schedule, and I'm going to be doing videos as much as I feel like my study time will allow me. But as such, I have a winter break for about a month in December, and you better believe that I'm going to be hitting YouTube so hard during that month. And I'm starting it off with a 20,000 subscriber special featuring none other than my wife, Lady Kairos. I have spent so long trying to convince her to play Clash Royale. And for my 10,000 subscriber, she was at least willing to do a collaboration, to go onto YouTube. But finally, she was like, you know what? If you reach 20,000 subscribers, I will play Clash Royale on YouTube. And I was like, you deal. I'm taking that. And we did it, guys. So thank you for the support, for getting my wife. It takes a lot to get her to play video games, so I'm stoked about that. If you have any suggestions of what we should do, drop it in the comment section below. I already have some ideas that I really like, but I really do want to hear what you guys think. Also, I'm going to have less of a presence on my social media, including Discord, Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. Unfortunately, even the comment section on YouTube. I'm still going to read all the comments on my YouTube channel, but as far as responding, I really do have to focus on some other stuff right now, and it breaks my heart. It really does, because I love being that influence in the community, and I love helping people out. And even if it's like, hey, can you help me with my deck? I love taking the time to do it. I really do, but I just can't right now, and it, like I said, breaks my heart. So why am I doing this? Well, to tell you a little bit about me, I am a perfectionist, and I wouldn't necessarily say that I struggle with perfectionism, because perfectionism has been a really big blessing in my life. It's gotten me to some hard places, namely into the doctorate physical therapy program that I'm in right now for my education to get into my career. It's hard to get there, And in high school and in college, I spent so much time trying to be the best that I could in every facet of my life, in school, in work, in family, in church, all of those different things. I tried to be the absolute best that I possibly could. And because of all that hard work and determination, taking 14 or 15 credits every semester on top of working 25 to sometimes 40-hour weeks, and also taking care of my wife and having a baby and doing church responsibilities and things like that. It was so hard, but I did it because I'm a perfectionist, and I sacrifice sometimes my own enjoyment to and sacrifice myself to reach my goals. And I've spent all of that time and effort trying to get where I'm at right now in my physical therapy program. And just to tell you guys a little bit about why I worked so hard. Well, to get into the specific program that I'm in right now, there were well over 500 people that applied. And all of those 500 people not only graduated from college with great grades, and we're talking like at least 3.5 GPA and up. Most people that actually get into physical therapy school have at least a 3.7. And some schools have an average acceptance GPA of like 3.8 of college level credit courses. I had a 3.89. Not bragging, but just to show you the determination, the perfectionist that I am. And all of these people have such great GPAs. They get letters of recommendation. They do shadowing hours. They take standardized tests, the GRE, and try and get as high as scores. And over 500 people apply to this program, and the program only picked 38 individuals out of well over 500. That's about 7% of the people that applied and spent the money and the time and to get to even apply to get into the program. And that's crazy. And so now here I am in this program where I have the top 7% of the people that even applied, that were even aspiring to become a physical therapist, to reach this high goal, that some teachers right now have even said, or some people even right now are saying, is just as hard, if not harder, than getting into medical school. And I'm surrounded by people that are all like me in that regard of being a perfectionist and working ridiculously hard to the point where other people think you're crazy. And I mean, for the first time in my life, if I'm 15 minutes early to class, I'm like the last person there. Like I'm surrounded by these amazing people that have worked so hard to get to where we're at, and I'm trying to take care of my family, and I'm trying to take care of YouTube, and in order to do a tier list for my YouTube, I have to be playing a lot. And so I'm playing, and I have baby Kairos, and I want to play with her and be with her and develop a good relationship with her and maintain my relationship with my wife, and all of these things, and all of that on top of school. And quite honestly, for the first time in my life, I'm struggling at school, something that has never been hard for me in my life, because I'm a perfectionist and because I work so hard. For the first time in school, I'm struggling to the point where for the first time ever, I've actually failed a test. And not only one test, but two tests. And I know that some of you, that's going to sound crazy to you, but I'm a perfectionist, and that's what I do. I don't fail tests, let alone amongst these amazing people. I mean, and it's really honestly quite embarrassing to feel like for the first time in my life that I am surrounded by people that are better than I am. and that I am not as good at. And that if I, for the first time in my life, comparing myself to another person is a puts me down and makes me feel like I'm inadequate. And if you take all of that stress and all of that and add that to the fact that failing a test in physical therapy school isn't like failing a test in another class. It's not like I can retake this class. If I fail a test, then they give me a chance to retake the test. And if I fail the retake, then the staff comes together and decides whether or not to kick me out of the program. And so that stress, added with all the stress of feeling these feelings of inadequacy for the first time, these feelings of failure as a perfectionist, it's really overwhelming and it's hard. And I'm having to learn how to cope with that. And the only other time in my life that I feel like I've failed was when baby Kairos was when my daughter was born. That was a really hard time for me, and I felt like I was failing in a lot of different aspects. And even though felt like that, I was still, I mean, failing then was getting a B because I had to get into physical therapy school. And so that was really hard, even though I was still passing my tests, and that was hard. But for the first time, I'm failing, and so now I am trying to cope with those things, and I wanted to share. And this is a really hard thing for me to talk to you guys about, and it's hard for me to talk about in general with other people because I'm not that person. If you know me in real life, you're not like, oh yeah, like I'm the guy that does things, does amazing things. And for me to open up to other people, it's embarrassing to me, and it's hard. And why am I doing that now? Honestly, because I want to be a positive influence on other people's lives, and I want to share some things that I'm using to cope with that with you. And I really have 5 things that I wanted to talk about really quickly. And first things first, refocus your priorities. And this doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a perfectionist dealing with failure. You can, even if you're just dealing with failure. And the first things first is to refocus your priorities. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm saying, you know what? I love doing YouTube, but it is a distraction. And so I have to focus on what is most important. What is most important in my life right now? My family and my career. So I have to take everything else, and I have to say, okay, does this get in the way? Does this get in the way? Does this get in the way? And for that time, I have to set that to the side. And no matter how much I want to come back to that, I have to set that to the side. Number 2 is to stop comparing myself to the best of the best. And this can be any situation. You could be comparing yourself to somebody else. And especially in today, and not right now, I am literally comparing myself with the best people in their best moments. And everybody experiences that to some degree, even on Facebook or on social media or Twitter or whatever, or YouTube. We compare ourselves to people when they're at their best, and that only sets us up for feelings of negativity. And I mean, you think about people posting pictures on Facebook and everybody looks all perfect and happy. Well, almost every single time, I can guarantee you that was not the first time they took that picture. That could have been the 50th time they took that picture then they decide to put that one on Facebook after they've added filters and after they've edited things and changed things so that they look the best in that moment, and sometimes even better than they actually are. And that's another thing of this, is that we don't know what's going on in other people's lives. And I can guarantee you, nobody that you're seeing is perfect. And they all have hard things going on in their life. And whether their hard thing is easier or harder than yours, it doesn't matter. What you need to realize is that it is unfair to yourself if you are comparing yourself to them. And that's something I'm having to remind myself of right now. And I could talk about that for hours. But I would encourage you to try and stop comparing yourself to others, because it only puts one of you down. And either way. And if you compare yourself to other people, you're just going to start feeling negativity to them. And that's not something that you want. And I don't want that in my class, because I love my classmates. I'm really coming to love them. And they're amazing people. And I don't want to compare myself to people just to feel negative emotions or feelings towards them. I want to love them, and I want to learn from them and grow from them. But that does bring me to the third step, or third thing to overcoming failure, and that is to love yourself despite your imperfections. And I've already talked about how everybody has their imperfections, and that's okay. You just have to accept that. And I'm learning to cope with that right now as somebody that's embarrassed about my failures, and trying to just sit back and say, you know what? Yes, I failed. But as long as I fall forward, and as long as I take those mistakes that I made and those failures, and I learn from them, and then that's okay. Then I can love myself. And you can too. If you're experiencing failure, just love yourself and fail forward. Make that mistake and learn from it, and don't make it again. And if you do that, love yourself, you'll be excellent. The fourth thing I wanted to talk about is just surrounding yourself with positivity. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to surround myself with my family and with my friends and with positive experiences and things that are fun. And I'm doing that so that I can deal with the stresses of the situation that I'm in right now. And that's what I would encourage you to do as well, is to just focus yourself on those positive things. Lastly, is to focus on just being there for other people, and to focus on helping others. And that's really what this comes down to. And I wanted to talk to you guys about what you have already done to improve my life. I am absolutely overwhelmed with the amount of positivity that is on my channel. And that was actually Lady Kairos's first big major concern with me even doing a YouTube channel. Is just the fact that there's so much negativity out there on the internet, and I've been so blessed with you guys as devoted subscribers and viewers. I can't. There's not a day that goes by since almost literally since the day I first started YouTube where I don't get a YouTube comment or a Facebook message or a Twitter or a Discord message or something like along the lines of that, where there's somebody that's just saying, Kairos, thank you. This is amazing content, and I appreciate your effort. And even though I don't necessarily always have the time to respond to that, I read that, and I love that. And it has been such a blessing in my life. And I want you guys to know how much I appreciate that. And I would encourage you, as you're experiencing these negative emotions, to pay it forward to somebody else and forget yourself and focus on others. And as you do that, you will be able to get through it, and you will feel better about yourself, and that will help you love yourself. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I know that I kind of went on a rant, and truth be told, this is like my 17th time recording this video. And this is the shortest it's been. But I really appreciate that, and I love your support. I would love it if when I came back strong on YouTube that you guys were right there with me. And if you made it to this video, please show your support by saying hashtag fall forward. And thank you for that. For now, this is Kairos time ticking by, and I will see you on YouTube later.